The current podcast is sponsored by New Life Barber Lounge. New Life is not another barbershop. This is a place where you will find great energy and a friend in the New Life crew. This is a place all about the experience. They will take care of you and have you looking spectacular. Don't waste your time at any other place. Go right now and follow them on Instagram at New Life Barbers and get yourself looking spectacular.
Welcome to the current podcast. Thank you for joining us on another episode tonight. This is your producer, Byron. We got my co-producer right here, Mauricio. How you doing, man?
What's good, man? We're doing real good right here. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. On this another beautiful day, you know?
Yes, sir.
And we also can't forget our host, Enzo. How you doing, man?
What's good, brother? How you doing?
Good, bro. And we also got our co-host, Manny. How you doing, brother?
Hey, how's it going, man? Very well, very well. Welcome to be here.
And we got a special guest tonight.
What's up, bro?
We got Marco
Thank you guys
Ashou,
for having
bro.
me.
How you doing, man?
Good. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for being here, man. We
Of course.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man.
No problem.
What's good, bro? I met this guy at the barbershop.
So you cut his hair like that?
No.
And
This
you
is
trim his
one
beard?
of the barbers. T cuts his hair. T, one of the
Yeah.
barbers. And
That's how I met him.
Exactly. So I
Gotcha.
just I don't know, man. We were chopping up at the shop a couple times over the past course of the year because T's been there for like a year and some change. So maybe we're just chopping it up, good energy, and then I seen on an Instagram that you do day trading and you're an investor, and I was like kind of captivated because you're T's age,
Yeah.
which is 21, right?
I think he's 22 now, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm
Well,
20. I'm still 20.
oh snap! So he
Yeah.
got damn. So like
He's got a couple years on me.
still, but 20-year-old day trader and investor, and then pulls up. I mean, I remember you pulling up in the new car when you had the other car, and I was like, well, how'd you get this? And you were like, this is what I do, and I was like, oh shit. So it was very impressive, and I was left a mark on me as like a young man getting it. So I was like, one day I'm gonna have you on the podcast, and then we're currently in a interesting market. Would you not agree, bro?
It's been crazy. I'll tell you that much. It's the market's not normal. I tell you that much. People say like, oh, the market's rigged. The market's all over the place. But in reality, the best way to say it is it's not normal. Right? We're seeing crazy amounts of volatility right now. Lots of manipulation going on because right now everything's kind of dried up. Right? A lot of people have pulled their money out, and when that happens, it leaves more opportunity for different movement in the stock. You know what I mean? Versus a lot of volume, a lot of volatility going one direction. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's been tough this year.
Is there like some companies that you noticed where that's actually happening to them?
Oh, every single one.
Like
Every
one, like an example you can give
So
us.
okay, so today I had a losing trade on Tesla.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
So I tried, because what I do is I trade off of key price levels, right? So today I had a level on Tesla marked out to go short. The first attempt at that short, I got bounced. Second attempt, I got bounced again. So that's 2 losing trades in a row. So now I'm like, what the fuck, right?
Okay.
I'm like, all right, how am I, like, I got to keep my cool. It's all right. I kept my risk very tight. So third time's a charm. It breaks through that level. I cut my loss in half. Not too much follow through, right? Because it's kind of dried up now. So took my profits, cut that loss in half, and I just closed up, called it a day. That's where my discipline kicks in, and it doesn't allow
knowing
me
when to get out.
knowing when to get out and knowing when to stop. Because a lot of people, they sit down and they're like,
Because
"All
it's
right."
almost like gambling a little bit.
It's a form of gambling in the sense of I don't know what's going to happen next. But however, the way I look at it is like even when you start a business, you are taking a gamble.
It's on a
Yes,
because
definitely.
because you're putting in X amount of money to start this business, and you don't know if you're going to make
If
that
it's
money
gonna,
back.
yeah, if it's
So
working
in all
out.
reality, life itself is a gamble.
Fact.
Yes.
That's how I look at it. But to answer your
So-
question, it's a sort of gamble.
So let me ask you. Let me kind of like take it back a couple steps.
Okay.
Because you said something that's crucial. It's like you said you're disciplined to stop taking more losses and all that. What in the first place led you to day trading and investing? At like, I mean, you're 20 years old. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that it's not unheard of. It's more common now with the younger crowd. But what has kept you in the game and what has built the discipline? Like, what was the journey to begin that way? get on that path?
So I used to work 2 jobs.
Oh,
All right,
snap.
I used to work at this trampoline place, and I used to work at Baskin
Sky
Robbins.
Zone?
Sky High.
Ah.
Sky High Sports. I know
Okay.
Sky Zone. It's like here in Van Nuys, but yeah. So I worked at Sky High, and I worked at
So they were playing with the same name.
yeah, pretty much.
It's like the bootleg version.
Yeah. So I had those 2 jobs.
So we
and
started from the bottom. Now we're here. Okay.
So I saved up a decent amount of money from those 2 jobs because I'm still living at home, right? So I don't have rent. I
Yeah,
don't
the
have-
utilities that you
Yeah,
usually
so
need to pay.
I was still living at home, so I had that opportunity to save up money. And to be honest with you, in high school, I didn't have that many friends, so that kept me from going out and spending money on food, etc. So I was always eating at home. I was being conservative. Then came where my mental state started to just kind of go down a little bit because I wasn't too happy working where I was working. And obviously, I don't care about the money, right? I wanted to go where I would be happier, and if it meant quitting my job, then so be it. So I ended up quitting those 2 jobs, and now I'm sitting at home thinking like, okay,
What's my next move?
what's my next move? What am I going to do now? And then over time, you know, I started realizing things like I found out that my dad had done stocks, but he's different. He's buy and hold long term. So I kind of sat down with him.
Not short-term stocks.
No, he's all long term. So I just sat down with him and I'm like,
That's
hey,
like the most conservative way to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's like with your 401k and all that.
That's-
yeah,
okay.
he has an IRA. So,
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
So I sat down with him and I told him like, hey, you know, this is the path that I want to take. And he's like, look, you know, you have X amount of money saved up. You need to understand that can all go away. If you do this, they can all go away. So go do your research, pick things that you think is good, and then we'll go over whatever you got.
I think that's one of the most crucial things, right
Having
there.
a
What you just
mentor.
said, it's pick what you're interested in, because that's another thing that I've noticed with other people that do trade, is that they are into companies that they actually keep up with and read about. Because that also, I know that the more information you have about the company or the product that you're investing in,
'Cause you're following
that
the
all
trends and
exactly you're seeing like, okay, like this might happen, you know, because it's also predictability, you know,
Yeah.
like what you predict might happen based on the information you
That's
have.
that's one of the gurus of investment. Warren Buffett's biggest advices is invest in what you purchase, invest in what you like, invest in what you already like, your lifestyle, what you already partake in. Figure out if they have investment stock and invest in that. So that's Warren Buffett. I mean, I've heard that advice from him repeatedly.
Yeah. And so after I did that, there was a time where my sister was vegan. Okay. So I told her, I was like, hey, where's all this vegan food you're getting from? Like, this seems to be like a new trend, right?
So
People-
what's the company? What are the
this and that.
brands?
And she told me that she buys food from this company called Beyond Meat. And I'm like, this is like a pretty big trend, right? A lot of people going vegan, etc. So I was at home. I looked up the companies and I looked up Beyond Meat, and they were having an IPO. They were going to go public. So I'm like, okay, you know, I'm going to watch this carefully. I'm gonna watch this. This is all I got right now. I'll put a little bit of money into it. So stock IPOs, it's kind of like getting a lot of traction. So this is where my gambling came in. I threw every penny that I had to my name into that stock, and I waited. I was like, all right, you know what?
But again, let's remember he's living at home, so he has the risk ratio is not that high because it's
Right.
like, hey man, I'm living at home. Fuck it.
It's not like you're gonna be homeless.
Right, exactly. So
Exactly.
let's be calculated when we talk about that. We don't want to just because
All in.
right, you know what I'm saying? But I love that, bro,
Yeah.
because
It's
I
like
mean,
being at the casino and just going, all right, dealer,
just-
here you go.
There you go. I'm going back home after this.
Yeah,
anyway.
right,
It
exactly.
I don't got bills. I don't have kids. I don't
hey
have a
man,
wife. I don't have a mortgage.
that's awesome,
payment.
bro. That's like something, and then that's you gain experience from that.
Exactly. So after I did that, bought the stock at like 56. This was back in like
Oh,
2000,
shit.
2019.
Damn.
Stock 2 weeks later is sitting at $230 a share.
Oof.
So
Wow.
I didn't get to sell at the peak. Obviously, you know, you never buy the lowest and sell the highest. I ended up selling it around like 220. So
Okay.
after that, my account grew exponentially. So now I'm like, all right, now I have the capital
That you need to invest
that
in
I
other
need to
areas.
invest in other areas. So what did I do? I was like, okay, I got X amount. Let me try this day trading stuff. So I actually ended up losing about $12,000 from day trading because I did not know what I was doing. Keep in mind, I had only been involved in the markets for 2 months.
So
or
let's
two-
break
two-
that down. What
3
is
weeks.
day trading?
So
to even
so
begin
day
with?
trading is when you, I mean, you could buy at the open and sell at the close. That's considered a day trade. You have people that are in and out of trades within minutes, which is what I do.
Okay.
You have people that could hold for 30 minutes, an hour. It just really depends on your style of trading. My style of trading
So it's all about watching that chart.
Yep, exactly. My style of trading is called scalping, which is taking advantage of high frequency trading. So you're
sniping, like
I'm sniping, exactly. So remember those key levels I was telling you guys about? They break like this.
All right. Can you break that down for, like, say there are listeners that don't know anything about that?
Okay, sure.
All right.
So break
what is that?
A key level?
Yes.
So for example, Tesla all-time high is at 1250. That's the all-time high, and ever since it never came down. That would be an example of a key level. So when the stock starts making its move back up to that 1250, you'll start seeing an influx of buyers, right? Because you have people that are short at the top that are going to start getting hurt. So I look at places where the other party is getting hurt to take advantage of that. That's where you see the fast movements into those levels. Or let's just say in the past 4 months, Airbnb stock has rejected, which has come down from 120 3 times, and now it's making another run up to 120. You know that there's people that are short that are sitting at that 120 area that'll probably have their break even up there. So that way when the stock starts making its move back up, you hope that influx of buyers start coming in and push the stock up. And that's when I could see everything, the volume, the orders that are coming in, how big the orders are. I mean, it's all laid out there for you. It's just how you take the information
And break it down.
And also screen time. Doing it for a couple years helps you as well. You know what I mean? So that's what a key level is, just areas where stocks have struggled to continue moving up or down. So I use those as key levels. They're called support and resistance. So resistance is top, support is the bottom.
That's dope, bro.
So you got to look at it like this, right? Support, lift the stock up, and then resistance, I mean, push.
You're trying to keep it from going below that. Yeah.
You know what's dope about listening to you, bro? Is like you're simplifying it. So like, you know what I mean? Because I've heard I've had clients that do it, and it's just they kind of don't know how to even explain it.
Numb it down, yeah.
Right. So
like
definitely, it's impressive to even hear how you break it down, bro. Because it's not something that it's like it's a form of financial literacy, knowing how to read the stocks and all that. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's dope, bro.
And then the other thing I want to ask you, since I know that the market, is in New York, do you wake up earlier?
I do.
In order to see this, because we are already three hours behind.
Yeah. So market opens at 6:30 here, which is 9:30 there.
Exactly.
I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. So, I mean, if you want to know what my morning routine.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
So I wake up at 5. Take about 5 minutes to get out of bed. Do about 100 push-ups. Well, this is new recently, just to get the blood flowing.
Right.
Because you're sitting all day and you want to stay active somewhere.
Exactly.
All right, gotcha.
So I do those push-ups, sometimes sit-ups, get the blood going. Then I get my AirPods, start listening, because this is me personally. I find more motivation in listening to like old school music, like music that I grew up listening to. It just puts me in the zone, right? Everyone
music is the thing that takes you back to a memory, takes you back to a place.
And then that's where I start like low key meditating. Like I'm listening to this music, I'm looking around, so log in, get all my charts up and everything. I'm listening to music, just looking around, and just start getting in the groove, start envisioning what I want to see out of the day.
Like what your goal is, what you're trying to aim to.
Exactly, and I write that down on a paper. My goal is to make X amount or around X amount today. This is what I plan on trading. This is where I plan on trading it, how I want to trade it, how much I could possibly lose, and how much I could possibly make. So I have that all written down.
You set your parameters, basically. You set parameters so that you don't go outside of those parameters.
Exactly. And every time I've gone outside of those parameters, I end up with a losing trade. That's the number one thing.
So that's your buffer, basically.
Exactly. That's the number one thing that 95% of traders fail at, is not having a plan. Because if you divulge from the plan, you might get lucky sometimes, but most of the time...
That's where the discipline comes in.
That's where the discipline comes in. And if you just look back in your journal, which... most traders should have, as a trading journal. If you look back at it, I guarantee you every professional trader that you know out there, every time they've shied away from their plan, they lose the trade. Most of the time.
Because it's emotion, basically. You're going off emotion instead of the logic that you've written down to be like, this will keep me in the green.
Yeah, and your logic is based by your experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the screen time.
Information
The screen time. I don't care what anyone says. Trading is an emotions game. But the emotions are the least thing that you have to that you can have in this game.
It's like poker. You have to have a poker face on.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to remain calm, even though you know
have to-
you're. Like, say it starts going down, you have to remain calm. All right, when do I get out?
Especially if you're doing
yeah.
something
But
where
you
If
already
it starts
have
going
that.
up, all right, do I get out now or do I keep riding the wave?
Exactly.
You know?
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's where you have everything written down for yourself. If I have, okay, Marco, you're gonna get into the stock 99.8. You're gonna get out at 99 for a loss. The second I see that stock touch 99, I'm out. I don't care. The second I see it touch 99, I'm out. Now, let's say it's going well. Okay, Marco, your take profit is at 101. Why am I going to sell if my take profit's at 101? If I'm up, let's say $50, and then when I'm at 101, I'll be up 100. If I'm up $50, why am I going to sell? The plan is to hold till 100. But remember how I was telling you before that you keep raising your maximum loss. So if now I'm up 50, okay, now I'm going to play to break even. Stop loss at break even now. I'm correct. I don't want the trade to go from green to red. So worst case, I walk out with a free trade, maybe even if it's $1, right? Break even.
But you gain a little bit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then most of the time you'll realize, okay, you manage that risk. Now stock's sitting at 101. All right, sell. Even if it goes higher, I can't blame myself because I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that I did what's best for myself within my risk parameters, and I followed the plan.
And I think that also keeps your mental peace because then you say, well, I stuck to my goal and that's what I achieved. So there is a moment of satisfaction in that.
Exactly. And I was just going to say that. You set that goal for yourself, you feel accomplished, you know? And another way I look at it as well is, so the stock market is a representation of, I don't want to say emotions, but it's just like the whole world at once, right? You could see the panic in the world, in the financial world. You could see the panic in the financial world. You could see
Like
the
what's
greed.
happening in the American people.
You could see
the world. 'Cause it's like you're trading world companies. Like these are all like
exactly. And but you also have people from around the world that are
Right.
Do
trading.
you focus in companies around the world or do you focus in American companies?
So the companies that I trade are all American companies, but another like advice I can give for new traders or anyone that's listening to this is pick a couple of stocks. Don't overwhelm yourself with 50 stocks. I only trade 3 stocks most of the time, and it's Tesla, Moderna, and honestly just a wild card, right? Whichever one that I'm familiar with. But my main traded stock is Tesla. I trade that every day. Today I traded it. So I focus on that.
And how is our current market looking as far as like you like trading Tesla and Moderna right now in our current state? What are you seeing?
I'm seeing everything fall off a cliff.
Oh shit.
We've had a horrible past 3 days. We're down about 10% in the past 3 days.
So is this a market crash or is this a recession? Or both?
Recession, I personally think we're already in one, but we're going to wait until the second GDP numbers come out for the second quarter. So when you have 2 negative GDPs, that's when it's a recession.
Yeah.
So once we get those, we'll actually be able to know.
That's
okay,
probably at the end of June.
Yeah,
so
July
we're
1st,
gonna know then if we're in a recession or not. I personally already
On
think we're in
paper,
one.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You got oil. You got oil going up. You have the price of everything going up.
And that's because of oil. Because once you raise oil, then you raise transportation. Once you raise transportation, then that raises the
I have
food
a theory,
price.
bro.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen airplane fares?
Yes,
Travel
they've
fares?
they've
Oh my-
tripled.
Yeah.
Can I expand on a theory of mine of
Sure.
why I think oil is going so high right now? Because my theory is that the oil companies know that they're on the way out. The fact that most countries around the world are going electric. Most the automobile
It's
industry,
not sustainable yet, though.
it isn't, but it's the way they're moving towards already. We already
That
got
is
like
true.
Ford already
It's
went
moving towards that, but it's not sustainable yet.
2030, fellas, 2030.
Yeah, bro, that's not that far away. So I feel like,
But that's only California.
I think
bro,
gonna
it's a
be-
global effort.
all
I
the-
think California was
No,
2035.
it's only
Look at
California right now. It's not the whole U.S.
No,
There's
what
a
I'm
lot
saying
of
is
car
the
companies that by
automakers,
2030 they're not going to be making gas powered
Exactly,
vehicles.
the
Volvo, I think by
automakers-
2028 is done making gas powered
automakers
vehicles.
have all
No way.
started trending by making electric cars, like the Mercedes, the new E30 or something like that. I think it's called
But also, don't forget though that there is turmoil in Europe right now with the war that is also causing a
That's
raise in price and
'Cause
inflation,
of the pipelines and all that shit.
and inflation. And don't forget, California has crazy gas tax. Right?
Yeah.
You get rid
Because of
that,
the policies
You get
and
rid of
shit.
that gas tax, we're down 50 cents a gallon
Easily.
right? Easily. So we're
But
having that.
That's voting Newsom in, y'all. Y'all
Yeah.
voted for
Newsom,
that.
but not just that too, bro. Honestly, there's a lot of state measures that also we have to be paying attention to.
And people don't vote because they be like, "Oh, our vote doesn't count."
And also, like another thing is that a lot of the oil companies stopped drilling in the United States, but that's
Facts.
because Biden told them to stop drilling. I
Facts.
mean, he cut off the Keystone
Yep.
pipeline, so people
Yeah.
can't be pissed with whatever's happening right now, because if that's what they voted for, you got to deal with it,
Right.
right? You know what I mean? I don't want to get too political, but if you vote, if
but
you
it's
vote
all
for something,
connected.
if you vote for something, and the outcome of your vote is happening, you can't bring that shit over to the other side.
Yeah.
You know. But one more thing is, don't forget that under Trump and the Fed, because of COVID, they pumped so
Yeah,
much
for
money.
sure.
So the funny thing is that everyone says, "Oh
The
no,
pendulum has swung.
it's
basically.
Putin's fault. It's Putin's fault because of the rise in prices." No, you got to take in everything. Trump printed a lot.
But this is the funny thing about being president is that it's hot potato because
You got to deal with the consequences
of the last
previous
guys.
guy,
So
yeah.
that's just like
and
Biden,
whoever comes in is going to deal with the consequences of Biden
Right.
and everybody else. Yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of laws don't come into effect until the next term. A lot of stuff.
Exactly,
Yeah. That
Crazy.
too. So that's how I look at it. Is everyone says, "Oh, it's all Putin," but no, you got to look at it from all sides.
There's
of
always
the spectrum.
the people. I feel it's human nature to find a boogeyman, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's one of the guys that they're looking for. But I feel like you're saying, bro, you could tell by the market and how the state of panic that the world is in. I mean, but then it's also true that the inflation is up because we printed so much money, and then now it's like you got to pay all that back.
And this is where it gets scary as a society. The government got people so used to, here you go, right? Here you go. Now
They don't want to work.
when they start taking it back, now that's when people start getting all freaky, you know, then you see crime go up, which we have been seeing
Fuck,
here
it's crazy,
in Los
bro.
Angeles. I mean, it happened to me,
Right.
right? So we were seeing all this shit happen.
That shit's crazy.
Wait, what happened to you?
Yeah,
bro?
all right, yeah.
Yeah,
Hold
yeah.
up. That's kind of
Backtrack.
crazy, bro. Because
Think.
that was one of the. Do you want to talk about that, bro?
I'll just give like a brief
A little
rundown.
vague.
So
Yeah,
just I mean, I was on my way to a club after dinner and I got rear-ended, but not like a crazy rear end, just like a little tap. Got out of the car and 5 dudes robbed me. They stole my Rolex and they stole my chain. In the middle, like it was like 9 p.m. in the middle of Calabasas. It was in a good area too, and then they just took off. So,
Wow.
but we've been seeing a lot of that though. And at that point, go ahead here, take it. I don't want it.
Right, your
Yeah,
life is
my
worth it.
life is not worth this.
But I have
yeah.
been seeing a lot of people running away. Like I have been seeing a lot of people just running away from them, and they're not shooting them. The suspects are not shooting them. So that's a gamble I didn't want to take.
Right.
I mean, where
Yeah,
could I
that's
go?
wild,
I was
bro.
about to get on the freeway. I'm on the on ramp of the freeway. What am I gonna go run into the middle of the freeway? Like I'm not about to do all that.
end up going back to the destination you were gonna go to, or you just went home after that?
No, I went home.
You were
I
like,
was
"Fuck
supposed to
this."
go to a club out in Thousand Oaks, and I called my friends that were there and told them what happened. I'm like, yo, like I can't go. They actually left the club and came to check on me.
Oh shit!
So it was pretty cool. My sister and her husband came. There was about like 10 cop cars.
Oh,
It was crazy.
fuck.
Yeah, there was they got there within like 5 minutes, but at that point, I
And you
mean,
never recovered the Rolex.
but they have the serial number.
Oh,
yeah.
shit,
So
so
if they
you-
ever try to pawn it, it
you
will
find
come
it.
up. Yeah.
Ooh.
But I mean, I'm not expecting that to happen.
Do you think they were following you or anything like that, or targeted at all?
You know what I think it is because of the color of my car. It's yellow. So they see a yellow BMW driving
And
down
then vibe,
Ventura
mind you.
down Ventura Boulevard. They're like, "Oh, this fucker definitely has money."
It's loud. Yeah.
So what happened
Yeah,
was
nice whip.
it took them 2 lights to do this. So I noticed the car behind me and I saw that it was a packed car. But what am I thinking? I'm in Calabasas. I'm like, all right, it's probably just a bunch of Calabasas kids fucking around, right? But
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna lie to you, when they tapped the back of my car, for like a split second, I felt that something was off. I was like, what the hell are they doing?
Right.
But I mean, it's never happened to me, right? So I just pulled over, got out of the car to look at the damage. They boxed me in, and then boom, I got 2 guns right at me, and I was like, oh shit, here you go, like take it, go away, you know.
Fuck.
Should have been like, put the gun away. Let's fight like a man.
Oh my, you got 5 on 1. You got 5 on
Five
1.
around.
I know, right?
5 on 1.
He's gonna do the spin thing that the Detroit guy does.
I always think of that scene from Rush Hour when that Asian guy tells that to Chris Tucker. He's like, let's fight like a man. And then
Which one is that? The first
the
one?
very very first one.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
with the Asian guy has blonde hair.
That music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, yeah.
And I remember at the end of the scene, Curtis Tucker does that, and he has a gun in his ankle, and he gets him with that ankle gun.
Oh shit.
So
So
he's like, "Clean yourself up. You dead."
Let's get back to the topic at hand, bro. What is a bear market, or what? Like, I keep hearing that all over the place. I know what it is, but I mean the listeners don't know, and I'm sure they've heard it on CNN.
It's where
Fox,
it's the black market where they sell polar bears.
Is that
black
what it
bears,
is?
grizzly bears, whatever kind of bear you want.
The UFC athlete
the
has
bear
spoken.
market.
So a bear. So in stock market terminology, you have bears and bulls, right? The bulls are the people that think stocks are going to go up. The bears are the ones that think stocks are going to go down. So when you put it like that, bear market, you got the majority of people betting down, betting on the other side. Or, I mean, it's not even them betting, but just selling. If you're selling, you're bearish, right? You're selling, all right, I don't think it's going to go up anymore. Or
So I think the idea is more like the idea of hibernation, right? Where the bear starts selling everything to just keep it to themselves.
Sure.
I don't know. I just thought about it right now.
I've never heard anyone put it that way, but he kind of made it make sense.
That's nice.
He kind of made it make sense.
Maybe
I'm
should start day
listening to
trading,
it.
bro.
I'm like, yeah, bears take all this food and hibernate. I'm like, if you're selling everything,
And then they
you're-
come back out.
Exactly.
But they don't become bulls, though. They stay
Yeah,
bears.
That's the only part.
They
True.
stay bears.
Yeah.
So, question: do you do option trading?
Yes, I'm an options trader.
Okay, so break that down. What is an option trade?
So options, instead of calling it shares, when you own an option, you own a contract, right? So when you buy stock, you buy shares. When you buy options, you buy contracts. So options are the rights to 100 shares. So if you buy one contract, you have the rights of 100 shares. So most contracts you'll see, or most options, you'll see them priced by decimals. So let's say it's 1.00 times it by 100. It's actually worth $100. So you have calls and puts. Call options are betting the stock is going to go up. Put options are betting it's going to go down. So in this market, I've traded more puts than calls because we're in a bear market. So you have the strike price, which is the number of the stock. So if you buy a 50 put and the stock is at 55, that means you bought something called out of the money contract. So because the stock's at 55 and you bought the 50 put, it's out of the money, right? So when the stock goes
You're
down,
banking on that it goes down to
exactly.
that 50.
So if it goes down to 50, which was the strike price that you bought, you're now in the money, and then there's something called a premium flip, which is what I like trading. So the premium flip, once that contract moves from out of the money to in the money, you get a nice little boost in price of the contract. And the same thing goes the other way with calls, right? If you bet that the stock's going to go to 60 and stock's sitting at 55, goes from 55 and now it's sitting at 60, you also get that premium flip as well. So, and you could do so many things.
Is that one of the quickest ways to make money in the trading options, or is like doing quick trades?
Well, you can do quick trades both ways. You could buy 100 shares of the stock, right? But options, you can use less capital. Because think about this. The option contract is worth $100, okay? You bought a 55 call, betting it's going to go up, stock sitting at 50 for $100. Stock goes from 50 to 55. You now made, I mean, God knows. Let's just say you make $300, okay? But how much money did you put up? Only $100, right? Now, let's say you wanted to buy 100 shares of the stock from 50 to 55. So you would have to put up $5,000 to
Right.
make $500 from 50 to 55, right? So you have to put up more. So the people that
So
don't have...
options is like less risk.
No, it's more risk.
it's more risk.
Because options expire.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So
Options
that's
expire
right,
every
right,
Friday.
Yeah.
Right.
Options
so
expire
if you
every
don't,
Friday.
If it don't hit by that time, you take
mark,
that L.
Yeah, if it
and you
doesn't
gotta
hit the
pay-
mark you betted for, or that you, I don't want to say the word bet.
Yeah, no, well, that's what you're
you
doing.
placed.
you're betting. You're
That's
betting.
what you're doing, bro. That's
Yeah.
what
You're
doing.
betting on where the stock's going to go.
because
Are
you're
there odds?
you're like
There are... Well,
Isn't there? Can't you bet on an option? Not bet, but like you can short a stock that somebody else is betting that's gonna go high, right?
what do you mean?
Like if let's say you're betting that it's gonna hit the 55, and I'm
So,
going.
I guess
to
what he's
my
trying to-
option is gonna be the one that I'm gonna say is gonna go to 45. Is that? I can
So-
short your stock. Can I short the stock or can I short your option? Is
You
what I'm asking.
can short stocks and options.
Oh shit! So
So So here's real quick. That's a way of making money in the market. It's called covered calls and covered puts. So
damn.
here's what you do.
I thought it
You
just
buy you go long the stock with shares, but then you short an option call. So let's say you bought stock at 50. You have to buy 100 shares in order to short one contract. If you have 200 shares, you could short two contracts. Remember, because it's buy 100. So if you buy stock at 50, okay, you buy 100 shares at 50. What you do now is you sell the 55 call that's worth $100. You collect that $100. Now remember, options can expire worthless. So if that stock does not get to 55 by that expiration, you basically take that $100 premium and you put it in your pocket. Stock could be at 54, so you just made $500 that week, right? 400 from the stock and 100 from the shorting the option. But so a lot of people think that it's a win-win situation, but it's not really, because the stock could still go down. Yeah. That'll help your premium, right? It'll help your premium because you want that call to go down in value so you can collect the premium. But at the same time, you're losing money on the shares. A lot of people do that for income in the market. That's for sure.
Question: right now in the bear market that we're in, is it recommended to hold, sell off, or invest in stocks?
There's two.
Or what would your recommendation be?
For me personally, I'm ready to start buying long term, but I don't think we're done going down. I don't think we're done going down.
That's
yet.
crucial.
So you
right
want to
there.
wait a little bit longer?
I think this is just the beginning.
That's gonna go lower, dog. So you think Amazon's gonna hit $90-something?
Remember, you told me when it was at 125.
Right, and you told me to. I haven't bought in because you and another homie told me to wait, and now it's 104, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck's going on?
I told you just wait, because here's
because to me the way I see it, it's two haircuts.
because here's the thing.
Shit.
This is where a lot of people get confused about stock splits like Amazon, right? Amazon split, and it's now cheaper to buy it. But at the same time, as a trader, I don't want to think like everyone else. I want to think like the banks and the hedge funds that are trading with billions of dollars. Right? I want to be like smart money, big money. So when I saw Amazon split, I was like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity for market makers, which is what we call them, market makers, to trap people at this price, which we create liquidity for them, right? Because they're trying to get out.
It's like the hype you're creating.
Exactly. Yeah. We're going to get in. But remember, where there's a buyer, there's a seller.
Yes.
So we're buying what they're selling. And here we are currently down 20 points from that after split price. So it was at 125. Now we're down at, what was it, 104 today? It's like 104. So the way I look at it is,
so the people that bought in that moment been losing money.
Exactly. Yeah, unless they sold, right? We don't know. But another thing that I look at in the market is that price is like a magnet. I tell this to a lot of people. Price acts like a magnet. Now, what does that mean? Remember how I just said liquidity? So liquidity is where all the money is sitting, right? Amazon is about to come down to 100, which is equivalent to 2,000. Remember how I said key levels earlier?
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to take that key level 100 break because they know that there's a lot of liquidity sitting there. So to me, looking at the chart, it looks like it's heading down to that 100 or 2,000 level of liquidity, right? They want to liquidate everyone, right? They want liquidity in the market, so they're moving price down to there, so they get obviously volume, etc. More people get in, people are getting out, so it creates more action. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by like price acts like a magnet. It goes to prices of or where liquidity is sitting at. If there's no liquidity, there's no interest, right?
Yeah, no one wants to mess with it or buy anything.
Exactly.
Or do anything with it.
When there's no volume, when there's no liquidity on the stock, I stay away. Like I could write down a whole plan. Right? Market opens, the stock's just dead. I'm not going to touch it because remember, where there's less volume, there's more chance of manipulation. Think about it like you're at a party. Okay? When there's a lot of people, it's harder for you to be seen. So relate that to the market, it's harder for your order to get fucked with. But when there's nobody,
it's easier to point
I got
out.
all eyes.
That person did it. This person did that.
I got all eyes on you. Let's fuck with this dude. Let's fuck with these little group of traders that don't know that there's no volume, etc. Let's take their money and run.
I gotta ask you, since we've kind of been flirting around with this question that I have. I want to take you back to March of 2020 when the pandemic started, and on that kind of just took a nosedive. Something that was popular that year was the AMC stock. We also had Dogecoin that came about. So I want to know what happened for you March of 2020, and then kind of leading up to the whole trend of buying AMC stock and Dogecoin, and I guess after that we'll go into Bitcoin and all that whole cryptocurrency.
March of 2020, I got lucky enough to be all cash. I was not in anything. I was all cash. And actually, I saw how the market was coming down hard because of COVID. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait until there's like a little bit more of a clearer picture with what the hell this fucking COVID thing is.
Right.
That's when I bought my Apple at the lows. I mean, I bought Apple at $66. It went to like, and I sold it at 180. So I bought Apple that low. I bought Microsoft. I got so many things that were cheap, and I sold them all back in November of 2021. So before the shit show. So AMC and the AMC was another one that I bought as well. I bought it at,
that went up because of GameStop.
I bought it at,
GameStop, yeah.
I bought it at $2.50, and I sold it at 20, and then the next day it goes to 70.
Yeah.
But I saw this. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, AMC's at $20 a share for what? I was like, I wanted to sell it at like 6, 7. I didn't expect that crazy of a move. Next thing you know, it goes to 70 because of the whole short squeeze thing that happened, right? So the short squeeze was all the big institutions and big hedge funds were short the stock. So remember how I told you when the stock starts going back up to where people are short, they start getting hurt. The only way a short can get back, can get out of their position is by buying back in. If you're short 100 shares, the only way you can get out of that position is by buying back in. So you got that person buying back in, plus you buying, that creates a short squeeze, right? You got double the amount of people buying, essentially,
Crazy.
right? So that's what happened with AMC and GameStop. But I honestly think all those people that were just doing AMC and GameStop, I think they're all out of the market now.
Oh no, I mean a lot of people. There's kids that like
They got screwed over.
there's kids that also dropped out of college because they made like $20,000 off of those two stocks.
Horrible
you know what I mean?
decision. Take that money and save it and continue your education, right? I mean, personally, I'm still in college. I don't want to be in college because it takes up a lot of my time from trading, but I'm almost done. But I mean, for the people that just because they make X amount of money and they leave college, like 20 grand is not enough to be like, yeah, I'm dropping out.
Not at all.
200 grand? Okay, now we're talking. 100 to 200 grand, now we're talking.
What's your major, by the way?
I do business administration.
Got it.
With a minor in real estate.
Where you going?
CSUN.
Got it.
So
Matadors, yeah.
He just recently walked the stage.
really?
But he
Yeah.
graduated during
Both
COVID.
graduated.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool.
all those people that bought AMC and GameStop, they're all used to the market just going up. So now they see this, they're like, what the fuck is this? And that's why, I mean, that's why a lot of them got out, because either they got fucked or they're just like, all right, well, I don't know how to trade a bear market.
Here's my other question to you. How did you learn this? Did you like watch YouTube videos? Did you, read books?
Or was it your dad?
Was
that
it
taught
your
you?
dad? Was it college? Like, what,
I simply put, I had to lose money. I had to lose money to learn.
Experience is the best teacher. huh?
I tried watching YouTube videos. I tried reaching out to mentors or people that knew what they were doing. My dad didn't know how to day trade. He was just a long-term investor. So he's just always going to tell me, dude, buy and hold. That's all he's going to say. So I tried watching YouTube videos, but the problem is you can't ask the YouTube video a question, right? So at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm not learning shit from YouTube. I'm not learning shit from anyone else because they all want to do what's best for them. So let me put my money where my mouth is and let me learn this shit. Because remember, I had that capital to lose in the beginning. So I started, losing a little bit, but I was learning. I didn't look at them as losses. I was learning.
You're investing in yourself.
I had free money to lose. So
It's disposable income,
it's,
basically.
yeah, exactly. So once I started losing, and I'm like, all right, shit, you know what? This is not, going too well. I've lost about 12 grand. Let me just stop the bleeding where it is. So that's when I bought Tesla, and everything went up on me before COVID. And that's when I was like, okay, now I have a serious amount of cash to where I could just actually sit down and learn this. Remember, I was all cash. And then COVID came around. So COVID was it was a very short bear market, right? I mean, it was
because the money got pumped in one month, and then the next month they were like, don't let it crash, don't let it crash, and then now it's like it almost feels like they're saying, fuck it, let it crash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Like, because they know printing more money won't be the solution.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we're already it's like
the-
$1 trillion deficit that the U.S. government's in, so they're not gonna do that again.
Exactly.
And then also it's like people don't
They
even
can
want
wait
to go
another
back to
10
work
years
now.
for that. They can wait another 10 years for that
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly. So I wouldn't say I started trading in a bear market, but I started getting like very actively involved when COVID right before COVID started. So
So you would say that did COVID make you did it push you towards it being
Well,
your
yeah, you're-
full-time job?
Yeah.
because I was at home.
Exactly.
When I was at home and
My next question would be, because you mentioned this when we were talking, what is a FOMC?
FOMC, so the Federal Open Market Committee. So those are the Feds, right?
I don't know what the fuck the fuck.
So look, so this week, on Tuesday and Wednesday, we have the FOMC meeting. This is where they're going to be talking about interest rates, how the economy is looking from their perspective. So this is where
we gotta pay attention to
this is where we see the market volatility, right? So everyone is most likely waiting on that on Wednesday. So the FOMC minutes come out at 11 a.m. our time. So it's just the numbers that come out, right? You have a crazy overreaction of the numbers. And then 30 to 35 minutes after, that's when the Fed chair speaks. And then he starts answering questions.
Isn't it a lady right now, right?
No, it's Jerome Powell.
Oh, okay.
So he starts answering questions, he starts talking about the economy, and then you start seeing the market react. Usually when he's done talking, you will see you see the violent move down or up.
Yeah.
So the last FOMC,
Because that's where people are going to make their conclusions and say,
Exactly.
it's going to go this way, it's going to go that way.
I think I saw the last the Fed chairman we had was a woman. I think I seen her recently speak about how like it's gonna be a bad conversation.
it was no, the Fed chair has been Powell for a while. He was Fed chair under Trump. I think you're talking about Yellen.
Yeah, her.
Yeah, she's
old news.
She's crazy. No, she's still involved, but she's crazy.
I was watching her
always
talk, and I was like, oh shit.
She's always talking about some bullshit. She pisses me off.
Okay, so does she affect the market when she has like a conversation out there?
Oh yeah, because that's the thing. So when I'm trading, I pay attention to because some of these Feds speak. So for example, let me just show you on my phone real quick. So this week, for example, we have, so tomorrow's Tuesday, right? So no Fed speaking on Tuesday, no Fed speaking on Wednesday, none on Thursday. Oh, okay, so we don't have any Fed speaking this week other than Wednesday, but let me look at a couple weeks ago, for example. Okay, Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, John Williams speaks. So you'll start seeing at 11:30 that this part of the Fed, this guy that's part of the Fed will start speaking, and then you start seeing the market reacting, right, because of what he says. I mean, a Fed can come out and say, oh, the markets are horrible right now, and the next thing you know, boom. People are like, well, what the fuck? Why is the market coming down? There you go, right? You have to pay attention to all this stuff when you're trading, because if you get into a trade, let's say 2 minutes before a Fed starts speaking, and you start losing money on your trade, and you're like, well, what the fuck happened? Oh, I don't know.
That's the part of being clueless and not be following trends and not being
exactly.
informed.
So that's where you need to like actually pay attention to what the hell's going on. What time is he speaking? What time are these numbers coming out? What time, like economic numbers, right? So you got to pay attention to all that stuff. So that's
crazy. A lot of people are like my age, your age. They don't even watch the news.
Really?
I mean, I could tell, bro. When I put the news at the shop, everybody looks at me like I'm fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're fucking 40, 50 years old.
Yeah, bro. It's like, nah, bro. I'm watching this because
Like, can't
I'm
you
into
see this
stocks
on Twitter?
and I'm into I'm trying to get myself into this because, like I said, I got sober. Once I got sober, my mind changed. Like I just went into this thing where I'm like, I want to live to be 80 and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
You feel me? And like, we live in the only country in the world where we can, like, put ourselves in a better position if we like really calculate it, if we really be strategic. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, there's money everywhere.
right. Opportunity, man.
There's so much opportunity in this country. If you don't make money in this country, you're doing something wrong. There's money everywhere. You could start something from scratch. There is money out there, right? So you just got to be smart. If worst case, I mean, go get a job, right? The resources are there for you, you know. But I mean, some people, they have circumstances where they can't work, right? You can't blame them, right? Disability, for example, or homeless.
And there is financial aid for them.
Exactly.
If it does come to that.
So
this is another big, huge question. For beginning traders, what is the best platform to trade at in what platform, and then once you start getting into your different degrees of trading and you start get to your level, what should they start using also?
Okay, Robinhood is the most user-friendly trading platform.
Robinhood,
trading
for sure. Okay.
Robinhood is just like to get you started, if you don't really know what's going on, whatever it is.
Because it is assisted in a way.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I never use Robinhood. I started on TD Ameritrade right away, and TD Ameritrade offers the platform called Think or Swim, which is what you see on my story and all that. So it definitely took me a little bit to learn, and most of the people that are in my chat that first start trading, they're all the ones that are beginners. It takes them a little bit to get to know how to use Think or Swim, but once you get
I think it's in the title, right? Think or Swim.
If you ain't swimming, you sinking.
Exactly. You better think.
You gotta do something.
You better think, or you're going swimming. Exactly.
Oh, man.
Exactly. So once you learn how to use Think or Swim, it's a good platform. I like it. It does have its fucking problems, and it does get annoying sometimes, but that doesn't happen.
Yeah, because there's a lot of apps like similar to Robinhood. You have Acorns, you have Stash.
But they all do it for you, those, right?
Yeah, most
Acorn
of them,
does.
yeah.
I think
Acorns is a
Robinhood-
little different. Yeah.
And then there's-
Acorns is like long-term investment type of shit.
They
Yeah.
gather all your loose change and they put it in
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And then you have
Hey, I fuck with it, bro.
Fidelity.
Yeah, Fidelity. A lot of people use Fidelity.
yeah.
to
There's
trade.
Coinbase,
Webull.
Cash App can do
Speaking
things now.
speaking of Coinbase, crypto has been taking a fucking shit.
Bro,
Yeah.
25 from 60,000 last year.
Yeah, I don't trade crypto personally. I bought Ethereum at 1,400 and sold it at like 3,800, 3,900, and I never looked back. That was all I did.
Fuck, 20. How much lower? Because I'm Salvadorian, and El Salvador invested a lot of money into
Oh yeah,
crypto.
they're fucked.
Whoa! Salvadorian flag right there and shit. Fuck, the president must be shooting himself in the leg right now.
Oh, he's probably
Should he be, or should he
actually
be
buying
thinking
more.
about buying more? Right.
Shit, I'm not gonna beat around the bush.
But does El Salvador have disposable cash like that?
Ooh, we gotta look at their balance sheet.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
But-
if he's using somebody else's funds, man, I don't know it. What about the people? What if they don't want to invest in that?
Yeah,
It's their taxpaying money. Is there
Exactly.
tax over there?
Yeah, there
for
is.
sure.
But yeah,
There is
to be honest with you guys, like I don't know too much about crypto to be saying like, oh, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that.
You just
But
see it crashing.
I
Like
just
we
see,
all
yeah,
see.
I'm watching from the sidelines right now.
Like,
and I know a lot of people that are getting fucked.
It's just
over.
a market correction.
Shit.
Is it?
60 to 25. That's a crash. That's a fat crash. If you ask me.
I mean, but
Yeah.
that's not like in a day. It was a gradual.
That's when my pops got out. Because the Salvi app, the Chivo app.
Right.
Because they made an app when the country decided to go that way, where
It's at 21 right now.
basically
Damn, it was at
way.
25 just this
21
morning,
right now.
bro.
Hold
Whew.
up. No way. Let me check.
Wow.
keeps going down.
Let me
That's
check
crazy.
this real quick. Oh crap! I opened up Spotify on accident. Because Spotify and Thinkorswim, they're both green, so I get them mixed up sometimes. Let's see what we got.
Damn, 21,000, bro.
You got Bitcoin futures 21,855.
That's fucking crazy.
Wow, look at this. The past 2 days we got massive
That's Bitcoin
selling.
for y'all.
So Bitcoin was at 30,000 3 days ago, and now it's at 21.
How much did you buy at, Maury? Because I know that you bought a little
I
bit.
bought it when it had got down to like 27, 28.
Oh, you just bought something then?
Yeah, but that was like
Mhm.
a month ago.
Yeah.
But still, my money's plummeting.
Yeah, I don't know, but like I don't like it when people are like, "Oh, Bitcoin is a scam. Bitcoin is a scam." It's not. It's an investment, right? A lot are like, "Oh, I don't invest in crypto because it's a scam." Why? Because it's going down. So are things like not allowed to go down?
Yeah.
That's like the same thing right now. Oh, I don't invest in stocks because they're a scam, when we all know they're not.
It's like the NFT thing as well.
I don't believe in that personally. I don't think it's a scam, but I just don't believe in it.
You don't see the value in it, huh?
I don't. But I mean, there is
It's like
money.
having a Pokemon card. That's the way I look at it.
There is money in it.
Digitally, right?
Yeah, like
There
a
is-
digital Pokemon
There
card.
is money in it. I never got into it. I know hopping on trends is a great way to make money, but I've never been the type to do that. I kind of just see what I like, and whether it's a trend or not, I try to build it. Try to make something out of it. I got into stocks when they weren't really a trend. I mean, middle of 2019 was when I got in, or around like May 2019 was when I started trading. So
Question: how do you feel about forex?
I don't know shit about it.
Do you have it? I mean, because it's just trading currencies.
It is trading currencies,
but you never got into it.
I've never traded forex. Thinkorswim does offer forex trading though, but I never got into it. I've actually heard a lot of negative things about forex.
Same.
I've heard a lot of and like the whole recruiting.
Yeah,
thing,
that's
like,
that's
I've
where
heard a lot of stuff about that.
it's like a pyramid scheme and all that.
Yeah,
that's what they say.
I'm good off of it, but the returns, if you know how to trade forex, the returns are fucking crazy.
Damn.
They're crazy. You will see some crazy returns. I know a lot of people that go from forex to stocks, and they kill it. And they kill it.
Yeah,
I had this one guy.
Once you know how to read a chart, it's almost the same. Translating it to the stock market.
And I think like with forex, there's more risk involved in stocks. I think.
I find it funny because when I was in high school, there was one of my homies, his Julius. Shout out to Julius. His dad was a pastor, but he also did stocks, and I saw him do. It was like in '08. So.
Oh shit.
But homeboy, he came up. He it hurt him, but then came up because he had a nice house in Van Nuys and then had to sell it because of the crash. But then,
how old were you in '08?
Like 16.
So you saw that whole thing happen.
I saw my parents go through it, and I saw my parents watching the news every day. I saw my dad watching it, and he was like, "Thank God that I have a job that it's not gonna go away.
Recession proof.
They need military equipment and all that." And my mom was the one that was kind of like, hopefully my people keep me and not. She didn't lose too much work around that time, or did she, bro? Do you remember?
Somewhat.
Not like a couple, but
you know what's another recession-proof job? Snoop Dogg's blunt roller. He got a raise during this inflation.
Really?
Yeah. So a couple things I want to take you guys through real quick.
Shoot the shit. Let's shoot the shit a little bit, man.
But the first thing was I was just talking about inflation and all that stuff. Snoop Dogg gave him a raise because of inflation.
Need to learn how to roll backwards. I'm telling y'all, or blunts.
You know what I mean?
Oh crap!
It's crazy because
as Marco said, there is money out there to be made, right?
Exactly.
You just gotta find the niche.
Exactly.
It's out there.
This is another one right here. So a woman was awarded $5.2 million from insurance after getting an STD from an ex in the back of his Hyundai. So she sued the insurance company, which was Geico, and because she got an STD from fucking her ex in the back car.
And he obviously didn't let her know.
I guess not.
Yeah.
So she's been awarded $5.2 million off of this lawsuit.
Holy shit! I know that's a thing where if you don't inform the person that you're fucking, right, that you have
it's the same as like consent. Basically.
Exactly.
Hey, this guy was totally a fuckboy. Hyundai Genesis 2014.
What color was it?
It doesn't say, but it says 2014 Hyundai Genesis. Total fuckboy, yo.
2-seater. Yeah, definitely.
Fucking in the back.
So what? Did she blame the manufacturer for getting an STD, or did she blame the guy?
No, it's the insurance.
How does insurance?
Because
medical insurance, right?
No, Geico insurance, bro.
So, I didn't hear you say Geico.
Yeah, so this is what happened. On Tuesday, after 5 years of uncertainty, the Missouri Court of Appeals affirmed that Geico General Insurance Company must make the massive payout to the Jackson County woman in the unprecedented case. A 3-judge panel found that the judgment entered against the insurance giant through early arbitration proceedings was valid. Court papers obtained by the DailyMail.com reveal that woman notified Geico in February of 2021 that she and the insured had been in a romantic relationship since 2017. The woman told insurance company her intention.
And the insurer?
Yeah.
He worked for Geico?
No, and the insured. My bad.
They
told the woman told the insurance company her intention to seek monetary damages, alleging she contracted HPV, the human papillomavirus, from an insured member in his automobile. Court documents reveal that in the suit, the woman alleged that her ex-boyfriend had been told that he had throat cancer tumor and was diagnosed with HPV, yet he continued to have unprotected sex with her, knowing the risks.
So how doesn't he? What? That doesn't make sense.
The fact that he was in the car is why she was able to sue
that's fucked
the
up.
automobile company.
So it's like, oh, motherfucker, can't sue you. I'm gonna sue your car company.
Sounds like a fucked situation to me.
Sounds like she had a good lawyer too.
A good lawyer.
How the fuck?
And she had a good lawyer, but a bad time.
Yo, but the dude had throat cancer and was diagnosed with the HPV and continued to have so yeah, he knowingly had the virus and was still fucking raw.
That's crazy.
Raw dogging, you know what I mean? So that was a funny one right there for you guys. The This other thing too. Have you guys been seeing this drug that's still in drug trials, but it's like minimizing people's cancer?
I saw that.
Like,
The I Am Legend drug?
I saw that.
The I Am Legend drug?
I know, right?
That's how I Am Legend starts.
Yeah, you seen that movie, right? With Will Smith.
I Am Legend with the dog.
It's old, right?
Yeah.
I think I've seen it.
Like 2010. 2012.
Yeah, so that's how it starts. It's a cure for cancer, and then it turns everything into zombies.
But you mean to
and shit.
tell me the government has not had a cure for cancer this whole time?
They have
Yeah,
everything
come
30
on.
years in advance.
I had a
Come
science
on.
teacher who told me like they do. It's just it's not profitable.
You know, speaking
To
of
have it out
cancer,
there.
Putin has
Supposedly
cancer.
has
yeah, he's
cancer.
like that dude's fucking slowly.
But it's like the
withering
first
away.
time that it's not the first time he's had cancer. He's had cancer before.
He's also
So
they
it's
said
come
that
back.
he could also have Parkinson's disease.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've heard that too about Putin.
So he's just.
I mean,
is
he's
this
an older.
The,
He's
is
an
this
older
the last
guy.
hurrah?
It
that
could
why
be.
he's
He's
like,
trying to go out.
Well, with a bang.
Yeah,
Literally.
conquer more land and say like, oh,
What do you guys think about that?
him moving and conquering that. I mean, it's not the first time he's done it. I mean, he's conquered several lands prior to
Yeah.
that. You know,
Crimea. He had Crimea. He took Crimea.
under all the past 3 presidents, he's done it. I mean, except Trump. He didn't do it during Trump, but he did it under Bush. He did it under Obama. And that's the other thing why he was like, why are you guys making a big deal of it now?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And also, too, it's like you got to also remember that these regions were once, you know, part of the Soviet Union. So they were part of Russia.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, at the same time, I mean, there's a lot of things that I look at where it's like Ukraine, they supply most of the wheat for all the neighboring countries, so they have the fields to actually feed people. And the other hand, as you well know, Russia doesn't really have food like that.
No, they don't.
So they need
for that big of a country. They're actually missing a lot of shit.
They're missing a lot of food. So
Yeah.
they need a country like Ukraine in order to sustain themselves.
But
Yeah.
it's crazy how their market has recovered from all the embargoes and all the shit that they went.
Yeah, you see the Russian stock market was also down. Like,
It was down for like 2-3 months, and then it's back.
Well, but no, like when that whole thing happened, the market was down like 50% or
Yeah.
like 70% in one
Yeah.
day, and they had to halt trading.
Right.
See, here it's 7% across the board. I think it's called a circuit breaker. Right, that's when they halt trading for the United States. I'm pretty sure when 3 indexes, Nasdaq, S&P, and the Dow are down 7%. Yeah, 7%. I'm pretty sure it is.
Are we anywhere close to that?
Well, no, it has to be in one day. It has to, we got to 5% in one day, or like
Recently.
4. Yeah, recently. I'm
But
pretty
just
sure.
one of them, not all 3, right?
Or it was 2, I think.
I think it's one of them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. If you just look up circuit breaker, it should tell you. Let me see.
It's just crazy, man. Because
Cool.
times that we live in,
While
man.
you look that up, the next thing is the Apple's coming out with their new OS update.
That shit.
I got it on for tonight.
Oh, you got the beta?
Well, I don't know if it's a beta or not, but it says it's gonna update my phone tonight.
Oh,
The
okay.
15.1, some shit.
I think so.
Yeah.
So
shit.
point is that the latest biggest feature of the update is the fact that you can unsend and edit messages, and a lot of people are hype about that because you can go from saying "Hey babe" to "Hey Gabe" if you need to edit a message, or if you send something you didn't want, you can unsend it.
Hold
But
up.
there's a
Which one? Which date is it?
Huh?
Which version is it?
I'm not sure right now, but
So the thing was S&P has to be down 7%. It's just the S&P.
got it.
Yeah.
But there's a caveat to this whole new thing. Let's say I update my phone, right, and I send you a message and I want to unsend it, but you haven't updated your phone, it won't work.
Oh shit.
So a lot of people might get like fucked over with this whole thing. So
How?
Be careful.
I mean,
Keep that in mind.
Yeah,
it's
because
it's as simple as this. Hey, bro, did you update your phone? Or hey, babe, did you update your phone last night? Oh yeah, I did. All right, bet we're good.
yeah,
I'm gonna tell my whole circle, all my clients too. Hey, update your phone.
update your phone. Don't talk to me. Don't text me.
2K's coming out. Don't talk to me. Don't text me. Nothing. None of
For
that.
real.
No
So,
phone calls.
But another thing that's going to kind of affect Apple is the fact that the European Union is requiring all smartphones to have the same charging port, the USB-C port. So I heard that that's going to affect Apple because they just, for example, and it's not just for smartphones. In the European Union, they want even like tablets,
To have the
computers,
same-
everything.
Everybody,
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
and
they're all what? I mean, you
right
have
now
the
it's
same-
still lightning cable.
You still have this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Hold
And
up. They
so
want
no
the
iPhone
they
has
want
gone
the
to
one that
USB-C yet.
they want. USB-C is the one that the PlayStation has, right? The
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and Androids and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they want
And-
everything to be universal.
Wow.
Yeah,
basically.
even any
Europe.
electronic.
Any
What,
electronic
did they say which one they want it to be?
USB-C.
USB-C.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that Apple also just came out with new laptops where they went back to MagSafe. They went away from the USB-C chargers, and all their MacBook Pros are all MagSafe. So it's gonna affect Apple a lot. And this is by 2024.
They
So
have to just make adapters, bro.
huh?
They're just gonna sell a lot of adapters.
Then, but
It
the
sucks, but
the
that's
whole
what they're
thing
gonna
is
do.
that you have to produce those things. So why produce adapters when you could just make the cable? You know, and
Touche.
Apple already makes the cable where one is USB-C and the other end is for the iPhone.
Yeah.
So they just have to make it USB-C to USB-C. So that's something that I think in the next couple of years we might see that change in iPhones and all that stuff. Another thing is that Washington D.C. City Council passed a bill banning employers from firing workers who test positive for marijuana. And I hope we start to see a trend of this more and more.
I mean, the decriminalization of marijuana and at a federal level is coming, guys.
And the last job I had, they were like, if we suspect that you're high, we're going to drug test you. I'll be like, honestly, you could just ask me and I'll most likely be honest with
But
you. That
do
I'm
you think that should depend on the job?
Yes.
Yeah, but if I have a regular like office job where like I don't have safety in my hands, like I'm not like
Yeah.
you know
Working
machinery
machinery.
and shit
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that.
yeah, or
Yeah,
dealing,
dealing
or
with
dealing
I
with
wouldn't.
people.
You see, I wouldn't necessarily think that because I would. I'm a proponent of pot smoking. All right. I would encourage everybody to smoke a joint once a day. You know, it keeps the other drugs away. But
One joint a
fucking,
day keeps the keeps
you know,
the other shit away.
so I'm what. It's just kind of like, it does have a short-term memory loss thing in the moment. So like, if I smoke a blunt, and I'm about to do a haircut, there's been mad times where I'm like, what was I about to do right now? Or what guard was I about to pick up?
No,
or
I feel
what,
that,
or
but,
where,
like,
you know what I'm saying? You just space out in that moment.
A drug test doesn't really
I
take that
wouldn't-
into account. It
I
doesn't
wouldn't-
take into account until when you did it. It's just the fact that it's in your system.
Yeah,
So
See, that's
it could be
bullshit.
2 days ago.
That's what I'm
bullshit.
saying.
Yeah,
So that's
But it
bullshit.
can
That's
also
the
be in
idea,
your
though.
system for how many months?
For a long
2
time. That's
two
what I'm
weeks?
saying.
Isn't
That's
it
my
2 months?
point. Especially
Yeah.
what type of, depending on what type of a test it is. If they go to your hair, bro,
Right,
it can last like a whole year,
yeah,
bro.
it's a minute.
So
Damn,
that's why I feel like that
Yeah.
aspect. Yeah, if you're high at work,
that's a problem.
that's
Depending on the work too,
Depending,
though.
and depending on, yeah,
It's
I
arguably a
agree with
problem.
that.
Because I
You know
feel
what I mean?
like I can cut hair stoned. I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like I can do it.
I can't face a backwood and work. I'll be honest with you.
I can, but
Like a whole backwood to myself
because I'll concentrate better. My work in that sense of like getting in that mode for me, it's like because it's art. So a joint or a backwood, whatever, will help me. Like, you know, I've had even people tell me, like, most of my clients now will be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go. Give me a couple minutes." All right, no, and they know, but it's like they know that the work usually comes out better because it's like I relax my mind and then go into that
Yeah.
you know. But I don't think you could do that for every field. Like something like.
The couple times that I've only smoked weed a couple times. Personally, I don't like it. That's me. That's just me though.
Right.
I didn't like it.
What
probably-
didn't you like about it?
It kind of made me just feel like very paranoid. You know, it
No,
made me.
I can definitely see where you can get that.
it-
But I personally, that paranoid feeling, to me, is like that you're concentrating on something negative, right?
Yeah.
So in my
Your emotions matter when you take it.
Oh yeah, the trip that you have
yes,
is important.
it's based
yeah.
on your emotions.
right. So then the way I control that paranoia is
and how you free yourself.
I flip it to concentrate on something that like
Makes
I'm
you
doing
happy.
at,
You like
doing
or
at the
something.
hand or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's how I do it. But
So yeah, the thing with me when I first smoked weed, it just kind of made me feel paranoid, and I just didn't like the feeling. And I was at a party. I was at a party, but I can't remember like what I was paranoid about. Maybe like probably like cops showing up or something, and I'm
Yeah.
fucking underage and then high as shit. But the couple times that I've smoked it, I never really got like the kick out of it. You know, I never really found the need to do it.
I feel
That's
it.
just
No, I
me
feel it.
personally. But I've had friends that trade when they're high. I don't know how they do it, but there was one time where when I used to produce music, I used to make beats, probably
Oh,
like
shit.
four or 5
Sick.
years ago. I smoked weed once when I was high. I smoked weed once. I was high when I was making beats. I kind of felt like I was in the music.
Oh shit!
I swear to God, I felt like I was in the music. I was like,
He was
holy
on
shit.
the computer, like
Yeah, well,
I was
the
like,
slowing down of
you know,
time and the
right.
perspective of time that changes.
Yeah, I
I
was
mean,
like,
that all helps you.
and I actually made one of the
Yeah.
most fire
Mhm.
beats I've ever made before. And
Mhm.
I was like, all right, but I can't get addicted to this. I'm not doing it. I'm good. But
I feel it, bro.
Yeah.
Odyssey, you got anything else to shoot the shit with?
Man, let me see. Yeah, I have one more time. One more thing. What was this is kind of going back to it, but we'll wrap it up with this. What was the most you've made in a day, or like the best trade you've made that like stuck out to that today? It's like, man, that was a good one. That was like a milestone or something like that. I don't know.
ooh, I've had a couple of those, but the best one,
When you pride yourself on, you know what I mean?
crap, probably. I like, it wasn't my biggest one, but I like the first trade that I ever did. You know why? Because even though it wasn't the most I've made, it got me where I am today. If that never happened, let's say I lost all 15 grand, I don't know where I'd be right now, right?
Yeah.
So I think the first trade I ever took, you want to call it beginner's luck, you can, but I like that one the most because it just got me to where I am today. It was a cool like start, I had a positive experience from the start.
You remember what it was?
What? How
Like-
much I made?
No, what the trade
Or-
was. Better said.
Yeah, it was the Beyond Meat IPO.
Yeah, you
Oh,
said
that
earlier.
one, yeah,
it was
yeah,
it was
okay,
the Beyond
okay.
it was
Yeah.
the Beyond Meat IPO. But
Got it.
the most I've made in one day, from what I remember, was probably 16K, and it was on UPST, Upstart, UPST, AMC, and I'm pretty sure Tesla. I have it in my story highlights somewhere, but if you go to my story highlights, you'll see them all there. But I think 16K was probably the most I made in one day. day trading.
Damn.
Interesting.
So
I
Damn,
have
man.
a quick question for you, Marco.
Yep.
When it comes to like, let's say the stock is crashing, right?
Okay.
How do you seek help? Like, how would you give advice to somebody to seek help, or how to keep composed? Like, if it's like, they're beginners, like.
And they're already in the stock and it's
Yeah.
coming down. Well, there's a couple factors that go into play, right? How much are they down percent wise? If you're down 50%, you're
From your initial investment.
you're kind of you're in a tight spot. But that's where it goes to, like, you need to know what your risk is before you get in.
Yeah.
What's the max you want to lose? Do you want to lose 10%? Cool. You want to lose 20%? Cool. Are you willing to let it go to zero? Sometimes I have those, right? I have these little trades that are like so low risk where I'm willing to let it go to zero, but the reward could be something absolutely crazy. But for anyone that's down on a stock,
When it goes to zero, can it ever come back and be revived from zero, or that means it's over? You lost. The game's over.
so options can go to zero, right?
Okay.
The odds of them getting back up are slim to none because there's time decay, right? You have time decay on the contract. So the longer it takes for you to get that move that you want, the less you're going to make. The option will start depleting in value. So let's say you bet on the stock going up on Thursday and it goes down and now you're at zero. And let's say you didn't sell. It's worth $1, right? But Friday is when it expires and the stock goes back up to where you bought it. You're not going to be up, or you're not going to be break even because of that time decay. But to answer your question as to like, what would I say to someone that's like down on a stock? Down on a stock or down on like an option? Which one do you think you want to?
Well, since I don't really know, like, can you break down both then?
So
like,
yeah,
real quick?
so shares is where when you want to buy stocks and shares of stocks, you can hold them forever, right? You could be down 90%, but you can hold it forever. It's not a loss until you sell. But just like I said, personally, I would never let it get to 90%.
Yeah.
Once the trade does not go my way, I may give it a little bit of time, and that's for both. That's for day trading and like long term, right? Once like the trade starts like to not go my way, then I'm like thinking, okay, is it getting near my risk? The 10%.
What percentage would you usually go to
For stocks or options?
for stocks?
For stocks, 25% loss is
Okay.
cool. Is cool for me because it's less risk holding shares. Options, 10 to 15% right away. I'm out. I don't options because they lose value like this.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be a part of that.
But last question before we wrap up. What's been since we said your most you made was 16K, what's been the most you've lost in a trade or in one day that you were like, damn, this is Black Monday for me, or this is Black Friday for me?
$200,000 on GameStop.
You lost that much?
Because I bought it at listen to this crazy shit. I bought it at $280. It goes to $470. I'm up fat. Now what happens here? I'm getting greedy as shit, right?
Your emotions get the best of you.
I'm getting greedy as shit. I thought it was going to 1,000. Goes back to 250. So now I'm down a little bit. Goes back up to 350. Now I got this is God telling me fucking sell.
Yeah.
Right?
At least you're gonna make something.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then guess what? I sold it at 45.
Wow.
So and now listen to this.
$45?
Now,
Yeah.
now listen to
Holy
this.
shit.
Now listen to this. I sell it at 45 right before the market close. Market closes. Now you have after hours. It's at 300.
What?
It fucking goes crazy. But
So that
You
was all
would
the
have just
people-
waited a few hours.
if no, or just a day.
Yeah.
Because I sold it on a Tuesday, and then Wednesday, I don't know what the hell happened. I think it was that the person that started the whole thing was like still in GameStop, so people just started loading in. And I'm on FaceTime with one of my friends. Shout out to Aryan if you ever watch this. But I was on FaceTime with him, and he had the same situation as me,
Damn.
where he lost on it, and we're both just sitting there on FaceTime watching this fucking stock go crazy. And I'm like, you have got to
And
be
initially, how much did you put into this like GameStop stock?
I put in what I had. I was margin, so I was probably in with about like 1 point something on margin. So like 1.1, 1.2. Yeah, it was horrible. It was bad. Like I absolutely shit myself. But luckily enough for me, I had the capital, so I wasn't going into debt because I had the first trade that I did, and then when I started losing the day trading day trading,
Damn,
that's
so
when I started.
like really one good trade like that can carry you.
Wait, oh, you mean carry you up? Or
I just carry you enough to like kind of for your situation where
To
you take a
reinvest,
loss where
yeah.
you did.
well,
and
remember
you'll
it was
still be
more than
alright.
it was more than one trade though. The first trade got me kickstarted,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then after that was when I started being a little bit smarter. But I thought you meant to say one loss could like totally carry you or like bring you down. That is very true.
Very true, right, yeah.
One loss. I'll give you an example. This year, and I'm being totally transparent, my account was up 300% in this shitty ass market. Middle of May, I took one loss that wiped out 60% of my profits for the year.
Damn.
And now I'm sitting back to break even this year. And that's me being totally transparent. But that goes to show you
The game.
one trade can totally fuck you up.
Capsize, yeah.
But then in the next quarter, you could be right back up, right?
Exactly. That's why I'm not stressing, right?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit green on the year now. I'm working up slowly. But it like one trade, just one big blow like that, and your mental is just all over the place. So
Yeah.
when I lost that much on GameStop, I kind of fell into like a little depression for a little bit, not gonna lie to you, because that's a fat ass chunk of money.
Could have made, yeah.
So I fell into a little bit of a depression. I don't really tell anyone this, but that's when I was like, okay, time to shut down, right? Time to put everything away. Write down what the fuck you're gonna do now, because you just got slapped so fucking hard. And still to this day, I'm working it back up, right? You live and you learn. At the end of the day, it's just money, right? Money should never define me.
Right, it's
Yeah.
a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a
It,
tool.
it gets you things, right? It makes you happier, which, I mean, it shouldn't, because if you lose it, then you're going to be fucking depressed as shit.
Right.
But it's a tool. If you got a lot of it, cool. If you don't, you can always get it, right? At the end of the day, that's how I look at it. Whenever I'm in a trade or whatever and I lose, all right, bro, I'm still alive, right?
Yeah.
It's just money. And, I had talks with my parents about what happened and friends, and they're like, bro, like, it's the game, right? This is what you signed up for. So you can't be, like, if you want to get into stocks and you're fucking crying about losing, like, money all the time.
It's kind of like athletes where you can't remember your last shot that you missed. You just got to keep shooting.
You think Jimmy Butler is worried about that Game 7 shot that he took against the
That he
Celtics?
missed, yep.
No, he doesn't give a fuck. He's getting paid fucking $20 million a year, right?
Right.
Maybe for his for his athleticism and his player mindset, yeah, he probably does care, but he's not thinking about it.
He's not losing sleep over it.
Kobe never worried about a losing game.
Nope.
Well, he did in the moment, but the next day,
It's over.
It's
It's
over.
erased.
Yeah,
If you step in front of Kobe coming off of a loss, you're done.
Facts.
You're
Man,
done.
Marco, it was great having
Wow.
you, bro.
Of course. Thank you guys for
We
having
definitely
me.
gonna have you on again once the market starts showing some rebound in it, just to see where you're at with it and just to see.
Absolutely. I'm super down.
Hopefully some of us in here have invested by that time.
I hope you all have.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Come
like-
back here.
I mean, I do a little bit on
I'm
Robinhood.
gonna come
nothing
back here and
crazy.
check on all your portfolios and be like, hey,
The
man,
IPO I bought last year was Endeavor, which is the company that owns the UFC.
Okay.
I bought their stuff and it was like 28 a share when they came out, or
What they at now?
22 or something like that. And now they're like at 28, something like that. But
But I will tell you one thing. Everything right now is on major discount.
yeah,
If you buy right now, but you're thinking 30 years ahead, let's say 20, 30 years ahead, I mean, you're fine, right? Yeah, we all know it's going to go up. I mean, everyone thought
So if
2008.
you're trying to do some long-term stuff.
Yeah, right now would be because you're thinking so far ahead. Everyone thought 2008 was the end of capitalism, end of the world, end of the stock market. And here we are. Well, let's just rewind 5 months. Here we are at all-time highs.
Right.
So,
We'll get back up there, man.
well, yeah, we most
It's
likely
America.
we most likely
will.
will.
America.
We most likely will.
Definitely, man. But thank
All
you
right,
very
man.
much,
Appreciate
Marco.
you,
Of course,
Marco.
thank you guys for
Have a
having
good
me.
one, man. Y'all
Have a good night.
tune into this one. Have a good
Yeah,
night.
Subscribe. Have a good one.
See you.
Thank you for listening to our episode. We appreciate your support. Remember to follow us on Instagram at The Current Pod, where you can share our episodes, review, interact with us, talk to us about what's going on. We appreciate your feedback and everything that you guys do for us and supporting us. Have a wonderful day.